What is going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday, and welcome in to the Fantasy Alarm MLB DFS live stream. I'm your host, James Grande, joined by the man, the myth, the legend, Keith Eister. You can follow Keith on Twitter at EYS819DFS, and maybe other platforms, but we're talking Twitter here. Keith, what's going on, brother? Happy Tuesday.
Not too much. Happy Tuesday. Got another nice little baseball slate here. A lot of good pitching names, some offenses in pretty good spots. So I'm liking this one.
Little is a choice that you have chosen because it is 10 games. It could, I guess, you could be 11, could be 12, could be 13, could be 14, could be 15, right? I guess we all look at slate size differently here. 10, I view anything 10 plus, I'm like, all right, this is in the gonna take like many hours of research bucket. Not that smaller slates don't have many hours of research, but just like, you look at the double digit slates and you're like, it's a big one. It's a big one today. Anyways, I digress. Trust the process, Keith. That's what I always say, right?
Got to.
10 games on today's slate. You mentioned really good pitching, really good offenses. First time in like a while we've gone a few slates without either Tampa, Sacramento, or Coors. So it's good to just be on an even playing field across the board here. We do have like a weather thing in Pittsburgh and New York. It doesn't look like per Kevin Roth that it's going to be a postponement issue, but there could be a delay there. So obviously keep that in mind. There is rain in Atlanta. Welcome to MLB DFS and Atlanta, right? Just anything south, it may rain, it may not. And then there's a little rain in the Cubs Miami game, but it doesn't look like that's going to be of any concern. For first-time watchers and listeners, we do go position by position breakdown. So we will start with pitcher. But before we go in that, please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. It helps us tremendously. Po D-Gen in here early, high as ever. Addison Barger, a.k.a. Punt Goat, 2 bases, plus 165, 1 hit, minus 155. Always high and always betting on stuff. And he's drinking a juice box with goldfish. Honestly, doesn't surprise me. But also, as a 30-year-old with kids, always have juice boxes, goldfish that I dig into like all the time. Like I think I had a bag of goldfish the last couple days too. Like goldfish just hit differently, so I love that. Time to attack Belozo the clown. It's a little mean, but we will be getting into attacking him. And then Cubs have 3 catchers. Thoughts, Keith? Rank the Cubs catchers.
Well, I think only 2 of them are going to be in the lineup. We'll see which 2 those are, but Mo Baller getting the call is something that's very exciting to me as a Cubs fan. Kid's 21 years old, has hit everywhere he's been in the minors, as being one of the youngest players in the league as well. So Ballesteros getting the call. Excited. Hopefully he's in the lineup because he's going to be my top guy today. I know Carson Kelly's been absolutely incredible, but if Ballesteros is in the lineup, I'm going to have to click him.
Who is the casualty? Is it going to be Carson Kelly, you think, long term?
No, he's only up because Ian Happ went on the IL. So they're going to play Suzuki in left field, and then Ballesteros is going to get some DH at bats, it looks like. He's not really a catcher long term, I don't think. He's more of a DH long term. But yeah, I think one of them will do DH. So probably Kelly catching and then Ballesteros DHing. Hopefully, maybe it's Amaya and Kelly like it has been.
Yeah, they went the double catcher route last night, and Miguel Amaya looked like Carson Kelly.
Yeah.
Carson Kelly looked like old Carson Kelly, right? Like it just all was right in the world for you Cubs fans last night. Rusty in the chat. Good night last night. Great to hear, Rusty. Good stuff. That means you did not play Ryan Gusto, so that's good. Richard, Grande time. Also Keith time. I don't know if you knew that, but Keith is also in this little rectangular box below me. So Grande and Keith time. Or I go like Grande Keith time, because that's big Keith time, a little play on words as we get into the show. And I agree with Cam the man. Let's get into 9K subs. Couldn't agree more. Let's get our YouTube channel to 9K subs as we are building our climb to 10K. Have to get to 9K first. So appreciate everyone that supports the show day in, day out. We do this for you guys Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern. And then we do the pre-show the night before. You'll catch Keith and I on the pre-show as well because John's wedding anniversary. Night off, But yeah, John has the night off for that. So congrats to John and his lovely wife. They had a beautiful wedding. 2 years, he told me, 2 years ago. So I was there, but I just had to spark the old memory. So let's get into it. Enough rambling. 7 minutes of rambling I've done. I'm sorry, Keith. Let's get into pitching because it's loaded, and it's really loaded from top to mid tier, and then nothing under the mid tier, but top to mid tier. It's loaded. Kicking us off 9K and above. Max Fried has looked incredible. Chris Bubich has looked incredible. Kodai Senga, you guessed it, has looked incredible. Brian Wu has pitched really, really good. Robbie Ray has turned into Cy Young version of Robbie Ray. Where do you want to start just this tier? Because there's a lot to talk about below. And I think that's where a lot of people are going to live tonight, and I get it. But where do you want to start the conversation 9K and up here, Keith?
Yeah, there are a ton of pitchers in play. Like I think you could play a dozen pitchers on the slate, and I would not call you crazy. Like there's a ton of good names. The problem is they all have tough matchups up here at the top. Yes. Outside of Senga, who's dealing with a little bit of weather. So these top four guys they're all really good, and I wouldn't talk you out of playing any one of them. The ownership is going to be interesting as well because of what we have a little bit below here. Yes. With a couple of names. So I think you're getting solid ownership numbers on all of these guys. It's hard to parse through them and kind of pick your favorite because of the matchups for Fried, Bubich, and Wu. All of them are in really tough matchups. Yep. Wu is tough enough where I know the ballpark is great. Like Seattle is one of the best pitching ballparks in the league, but the Yankees are one of the best, if not the best offense in the league.
Against righties, they're first in OPS, first in ISO, first in WOBA. I would classify as a fan. I'll take my fan hat off. I'll classify that as the best against right-handed pitching.
Yeah, I'm right there. I mean, what Aaron Judge is doing is just absolutely insane. Right. Trent Grisham has had a career resurgence. Like it's insane the power up and down that lineup. None of these guys are elite strikeout pitchers either. So I get why the ownership looks like it might not be congregating in the top tier here. If I had to pick one, I'm going to go all the way up top with Max Fried. The only reason I'm not going to be massively exposed to him is because he's really expensive and there are a ton of options on this slate. So Fried is my favorite. He's also the most expensive. Yep. It's keeping his ownership in check, but like this is one of the best pitchers in baseball. Yes. He's not an elite strikeout pitcher, like I mentioned. Seattle strikeouts have come down from where they were last season when they led the league. But they're still above average in strikeouts, especially to lefties. I think they're around 25%. Yep. So Fried looks really good to me, especially with that ballpark upgrade going from Yankee Stadium, which is a great power park, to Seattle. Like this is a nice ballpark upgrade for him. Seattle has hit lefties really well, so it's still not an easy matchup by any means. But given the ballpark upgrade and just his overall ability to pitch deep into a game, limit runs, he should limit the damage tonight and get through 6 or 7 innings. So Fried's going to be my favorite, even though he's a little bit more expensive.
Yeah, him and Senga are the only two in this tier carrying any type of ownership. Senga's right over 20%. Fried's right at 20%. Those are the only two that you're going to really get any type of ownership up here. And I kind of agree with that. Like if you're spending up, those would be the two names. Senga more for the matchup. You had talked about like no one with the strikeouts in this range. I'll include Robbie Ray in the range, so I would say he'd probably be the one that I would like. I can say like can strike out put up a crooked number in the strikeout department. The strikeouts for Senga have disappeared.
Yeah.
It's been a weird start because everything surface level looks great. He has definitely had luck on his side when you look at some of the peripheral numbers. There's definitely been a lot more expected stuff that don't exactly sit in line with a 1.16 ERA, especially when you're looking at how many base runners he's dealt with basically every game, and that comes with the walks. But he has definitively the best matchup of these top 5 pitchers. Like without a doubt, it's not even close. Have we gotten a Pittsburgh lineup yet? I don't think so because we still don't even know the O'Neal Cruz status. Like, if there's no O'Neal Cruz, like we saw it last night, they don't have offense. Like Isaiah Kiner-Falefa got off the IL and hit a home run. He did his best Cruz impersonation, but that's not sustainable, right? So it's Fried and Senga for me as well. Let's get to the next tier because this is where everything is. And let's focus on 3 names to start, and then we'll pivot off those guys. Dylan Cease is the first name because let's face it, Dylan Cease looked like Dylan Cease until the forearm cramps took him out of that game. He wasn't long for that game, but he would have definitely completed 7 innings if not for the forearm cramps. He talked with the media after the game. He said he was cramping. He went through all the checks because it was a forearm, and that's obviously never a good sign. All the checks post-game, everything was good. We've talked Dylan Cease a lot. All the peripheral stuff for Dylan Cease looks elite. The ownership on Dylan Cease, much like it was for Michael King last night, Michael King was 70% in single entry last night. Dylan Cease is projecting the exact same tonight. What say you about Dylan Cease at 8,300? Because there are situations that I am okay with eating chalk in, and for me personally, this is one.
Yeah, I'm okay with eating pitcher chalk too. In some cases offense, but especially pitcher chalk, especially when I break it down and the matchup looks good, and the guy's in great form recently. There are a couple of things that have me a little concerned about Cease. He hasn't been an elite guy. Underneath the hood, it looks pretty good, like you said. The hard contact is a little concerning, though, especially to lefties. The good news is the Angels don't have any lefties. So this is as good as matchups get for Dylan Cease, basically. The Angels strike out a ton. The strikeouts have been solid all year long. He's up around 27%. And they don't have any lefties that can burn him with the long ball that has really been his problem this season. So I don't like the ownership number, especially when there are so many options on the slate. However, I do love the price tag and the matchup. So the ownership makes sense. It's just going to be difficult. As a large field tournament player, I often look for leverage. And to get leverage on Dylan Cease today, I'm going to have to put him in like 70% of my lineups. And that's not something I'm willing to do on a 10-game slate. So I'm going to end up right at the field, probably around 50%. But if you take ownership out of the equation, he's very clearly my favorite pitcher on the slate.
Let's talk leverage then, because the ownership has come up on Spencer Schwellenbach today. It was not as high as I thought it would be earlier. And I think people realize, like, okay, this pitcher is probably $1,000+ too cheap. Is Schwellenbach someone that you are getting overweight on? He's currently projected to be the 4th highest rostered pitcher of the day, and that was not the case earlier. But now he is obviously skied in ownership.
Yeah, I just think he's too cheap for the talent. So he is a guy that I'm looking to be overweight on. It's guys like this that I'm not going overweight on Dylan Cease for, so that I can get some leverage here. Similar price point with just as much upside, I think. The Nationals are an average strikeout team. They're an average offense in general. So for him to be down in this price range, his strikeouts have fallen off from last season, but this is a young guy with a really good swinging strike rate. It's 13.6%. That tells me there's some more strikeouts than we have seen. The swinging strike rate in particular, looking at just compared to last year, it's almost identical. And he had a 25% strikeout rate last season. So he's sitting at 22% this season, but I think he deserves to have accumulated a few more. So Schwellenbach at this price, a fine matchup. The Nationals are not as good of a matchup as they have been. They strike out a little bit more, though. than they did last season.
Yes.
So I like the matchup. I like the pitcher. I think he's due for some more for some positive strikeout regression. So Schwellenbach is definitely one of the guys I want to be well over the field on.
And I know that you are a Ben Brown stan.
Yes.
And I know that this is a spot you are going to be overweight on Ben Brown. Without us talking about it pre-show, I know you're going to be overweight on Ben.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be popular too because of the price and the matchup.
Yes.
But Miami has been atrocious. And
Atrocious.
Ben Brown, his curveball is one of the best pitches in baseball. His strikeouts are as good or better than anybody that we talked about in the top tier. I would say only Dylan Cease has more strikeout upside than Ben Brown on this slate. And he's only 7,500. So when you give me a pitcher that has elite strikeout ability in a plus matchup, yeah, I don't care what the ownership is. He's too cheap for this. There's certainly some risk. He struggles with his command at times, and he can get beat by the home run ball. But Miami is not an offense that I'm worried about. The weather at Wrigley is really good. We know the winds cause extreme conditions in Wrigley Field. It's blowing in today. It's chilly, under 60 degrees. So these are all positive factors for Ben Brown. Factor in that matchup against the Marlins, and yeah, I just don't care what the ownership is. I'm going to be overweight.
If you were a single entry player or a cash game player, who between Cease, Schwellenbach, and Brown is cut? Because I think a lot of those tournaments and a lot of those cash game builds are going to feature two of those pitchers. And I think it should. I think that's where you should start because Aaron Judge, Shohei Ohtani, Bobby Witt, these players exist in the world today like that. So you're probably not spending up. Who is the odd man out of that group?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It depends on what you want to do. If you're playing a chalky offense, I think you should migrate away from Dylan Cease. Not because I think it's a bad spot for him, just because I think he's going to be twice as owned as the other two.
Yes, he will.
He probably should be. He has the most upside on the slate. There's no argument in that.
And Keith is frozen. See, this is what happens. I ask him a Dylan Cease question, and Keith freezes. He freezes. He's like, I don't want to play Dylan Cease. Why would I want to play Dylan Cease? We'll continue on, and we'll hope that Keith can come back. I'll get into some of the fire up those burner accounts, says Po DJ. Yeah, burner accounts. Got it. The Pocket Cup Penny GPP tonight is kind of cringe. 2 girls, 1 cup DFS. You are one of a kind, sir. I see through you. Hello to you. Hello, sir. Hello to you. Keith.
Hey.
Long time no see, my friend.
I'm not sure what happened there. Lost internet maybe for a blip, but we're back now. I'm not sure what.
Soon as you started talking about Dylan Cease, your internet was like, nope, this is a sign. Don't play him. Don't play him.
Yeah, I mean, it's the ownership for me. If he's going to be twice as owned as the other two guys, like as much as it pains me to say, I think he has the most upside on the slate. But I think Dylan Cease, if it was single entry, I think he's the one that I'd cut out.
Let's just talk rest of big picture. Anything else catch your eye? Jack Leiter's getting some ownership, and that is solely matchup based. That is not because Jack Leiter has been good. That is just because Jack Leiter is facing the Rockies. Are you in or are you out? Do you think we get pre-blister Jack Leiter, or do you think we continue to get post-blister Jack Leiter?
I mean, the Rockies are historically bad. They're on pace to lose more games than the White Sox lost last season, which is more than anyone has lost in history. So it's as good as matchups get. On a different slate, I'd have a ton of interest in Jack Leiter, but we just talked about 3 awesome plays right above him that I'm going to have a significant amount of exposure to. There's at least 4 or 5 names in the top range that I want some exposure to just because they can break the slate with a 30-point score. There's not much left over for a Jack Leiter. The matchup is incredible. He is a guy who long-term, I think has great strikeout ability. It hasn't shown up in the majors yet. He's at 18% this season. So I don't think I'm going to mess with Jack Leiter today. I love the matchup, obviously. On a different slate, I would dig in more and make a true decision. I just don't think we need him on this slate. Same goes for one other name who's kind of doing some interesting things this year. It's very early. It's only been 2 starts. So I'm not buying into it on this slate, but I'm monitoring for sure.
Is it this guy? No. 2 starts.
It's a name we picked on a lot recently in recent years.
Name that we is it Kyle Freeland? Is it Kyle Freeland? Because he's actually pretty good. He's actually been pretty good.
Yeah, he's having a lot better season than his numbers say. But Michael Soroka looks the velocity is up. Okay. The strikeouts were up in the last start. I'm not terrified of Atlanta without Ronald Acuna, who hopefully is making his way back soon. But on a different slate, I'd have some interest in Soroka. I know he's given up runs, but he looks like a different guy. He looked really good in the spring, and then he dealt with an injury, so he's just getting going this season. But I'm monitoring Soroka closely. If it was a slate where we didn't have many options, I'd throw some darts there, but not today.
Yeah, 52% ground ball rate through the 2 games, 3.29 Sierra, 3.24 xFIP. I mean, those things obviously are half his ERA.
Yeah, so I generally play 20 lineups. I love the 20 max on DK. I will have one lineup with Soroka today, just because I think I'm beating the field to this, and nobody's going to play him today because of how many options there are.
And because the thought is like, oh, Atlanta is this great offense, and they're not. They're middling. I mean, they're 15th in OPS, 17th in ISO, 16th in WOBA. They are literally the dead smack in the middle in all those categories. 22% strikeout rate. Yeah, there's good stuff there. No O'Neal Cruz, by the way, for Pittsburgh. The Senga stock is like this, Keith. It's just rising by the second.
Indeed.
All right, let's go to catcher. Let's talk about this position. We just had a home run call come from the catcher position here, Keith. It is WD-40 himself, Will Smith, is the home run call for Cam the Man. Of the 4K and up catchers that aren't named Carson Ruth Kelly, is Will Smith the top name there?
Yes, he is. Jeffrey Springs is a guy who I had a lot of faith in coming into the season, and post arm surgery, he just has not looked anywhere near the same guy.
Bingo.
And it's a lefty. Smith has always mashed lefties. I love the Dodgers today. Jeffrey Springs is a big name and a pitcher that I had a lot of success. I beat the field to him basically when he was doing this thing with Tampa Bay, but he just doesn't look like that guy right now. Yeah,
and it honestly, it's a really small sample. I wanted to look to see what Springs was doing away from Sutter Health, because Sutter Health has obviously turned into a little league field for offense. And he's kind of been bad on the road too. Again, small sample for Springs, but I don't like the 50+% fly ball rate to righties away from Sutter, and just in general, 50% fly ball rate. Dodger Stadium is a home run haven. It is not the stadium that you play with fly balls. That's not going to happen. We have the Langoliers shout as well just now by JB Yankees. Again, I am the furthest thing from a Landon Knack believer you'll ever see, and also a guy with a big fly ball and home run problem. So I would be perfectly fine with Langoliers. Those would be the 2 names I'm playing above 4K. When we dip below $4,000, who are some of the targets for you?
So I like all those top guys. Just a shout out to Austin Wells as well. Brian Wu is a very good pitcher, but he struggles with lefty power. Austin Wells has a lot of that. So
he does.
Don't mind that at all in the 4K range. Not in love with the 3K range until we get down to if Ballesteros is in the lineup. Unfortunately, he's 3K flat instead of 2K, which is good for DraftKings for pricing up an elite prospect higher than 2K. They don't often do that. He's the guy, if he's in the lineup, he's just way too cheap. I'm obviously a stan, being a Cubs fan and being one of their best prospects, and just super excited to see what he can do. Like I said, he hit all the way through the minors. He's been mashing at AAA at 21. He's one of the youngest hitters in the league. So a true elite prospect. The bat is definitely not in question with him. It's all about the defense, or he would be ranked much higher as a prospect even. But because if he cracks the lineup, I don't need to mess with much else in this 3K range. Like Francisco Alvarez is the name I would kind of highlight here. Just I don't believe in Mitch Keller. Alvarez is a very good hitter. So that's the other name I'm looking at.
You would play Ballesteros over Amaya if both were in the lineup?
I would.
Yeah,
just,
the lefties
maybe that's a new thing. Just excited to see the kid play. But yeah, I don't have anything bad to say about Amaya, but it would be Ballesteros for me slightly.
Well, if you want, if you're worried about your Cubs hat being too glued to your head, 259 expected ISO for lefties, 436 WOBA for lefties. I also would go Ballesteros because the lefties are where we want against Valente Belozo. So there's two L's in his name for a reason. Belozo. We're playing all the lefties there, Keith. Yeah, I agree. I'm always down for like a Freddie Fermin punt just because he's always too cheap. Let's see. The field is getting to Will Smith. The field is getting to Jonah Heim. I got to say, I was into Dolander last night because, one, the Texas chalk was just way too loud. I'm going to say it was just way too loud for a subpar offense without its best player. Those Kyle Freeland's peripheral stats look way better than I think people realize. And once again, you look at Texas, left-handed pit, 20th in OPS and WOBA, 21st in ISO, nearly 26% strikeout rate. There's a lot of people banking on Texas just getting to this bad pitcher away from Coors. So like a lot of people getting to the Jonah Heim stuff again. Is there any other punts that people are playing?
I will say Heim is one of the two guys in the lineup who's actually hit well against lefties.
Sure.
I don't understand the Adolis Garcia thing. Like, just not being able to hit lefties, I don't understand because he seems like he should profile really well against them. But yeah, a lot of bad numbers for the Rangers against the lefties. Wyatt Langford being the other good one.
Yeah, you're absolutely not wrong on the Heim front. 258 ISO this year, 417 WOBA. Looks a little bit lucky. 381 BABIP. Only a 130 expected ISO for Jonah Heim. Listen, I'm not just doing this again because I'm not to just like pat myself on the back. I kind of think Texas is overrated, Chalk. I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it too loud for.
I also do not enjoy picking on Kyle Freeland. He's better than people think. Like, he does a decent job at managing contact. Obviously, he pitches half his games in Coors. He's hittable. He's not going to strike many guys out. So that's why it could certainly happen. Like, if Texas scores 6 runs off him, it wouldn't surprise me. But I do think Kyle Freeland is better than most people do.
We just had multiple comments in the chat about Kyle Higashioka. He is back off the IL tonight, hitting 8th this evening for Texas. They're going double catcher. Jonah Heim hitting 6th, Higashioka hitting 8th. Thoughts on Higashioka?
Yeah, a guy that I always play against lefties.
Yeah, agreed.
He's got pop. He's got. I don't have the ISO in front of me, but his career ISO against lefties is very strong, over 200 for sure.
Yeah, career I don't have. Last year 309 ISO.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
pretty good. 2023 273 ISO. It's pretty good. I would say like a 2+ year sample of this guy just mashing lefties is pretty solid enough. There you go. That's my one Texas play for you there. Punt to Kyle Higashioka. Let's get off this boring position and move on to a more exciting one where Shohei Ohtani still can be played. Okay. Freddie Freeman looks as good as he's ever looked, and he's 35 years old, which is insane. Pete Alonso looks great, 57. Vladdy against a struggling Shane Baz. Do you have? Is it just like you can play any of them? And okay, let's move. All right,
we didn't talk about Shane Baz. Like, what? I don't know what's happened to him because another arm I was really high on coming into this season.
Yes,
just has been atrocious his last 2 starts in particular. So again, like I wouldn't mind rolling the dice on Shane Baz if it was a different slate, but Probably play Vladdy today. He just doesn't look right.
Yeah, and the righties are what's killing him. 179 ISO to righties, 221 expected ISO, 91 mile per hour exit velocity. Shane Baz only has a 9% swinging strike rate to righties, 30% K rate to lefties, 20 to righties. It all looks kind of bad. It's one of those situations. The Blue Jays are one of the worst offenses in baseball against righties. They're also the only team in baseball that has not scored 10 plus runs in a game this year. The Rockies have done that, Keith. The Rockies, not the Blue Jays. So it is interesting for Vladdy. What about below the 5K tier? Ben Rice is there. He looks awesome always. Your boy Michael Busch, even though he's slowed down, he has a great matchup. And Michael Busch, someone who can swing and miss, does not have a matchup where he should swing and miss against Valente Belozo. Olson's hitting third. Nathaniel Lowe, Goldies continue just to rake. Like, what do we like in the 4K range?
Yeah, I really like Ben Rice. I like that shout quite a bit. I mentioned not loving picking on Woo, but with lefties, yep. I think it's totally fine. Michael Busch is the standout, clearly. 16% barrel rate for Beozo against lefties. So you mentioned Cubs lefties. We've started talking about it all show. It's going to be a spot to attack for sure. Like, Beozo was awesome against the Dodgers last time out. I don't know where that came from. Like, everything screams that this guy should be getting beat up. The hard contact numbers, the lack of strikeouts, way too many walks. It's an awesome spot for Cubs today. Busch being a lefty, one of my favorites.
Yeah, and in that game, and it's just like past Beozo, Bozo, whatever, they lost 10-1 in a game that he threw 5 scoreless innings. So just remember that about when you're also getting to the Miami bullpen. It's not things don't get better after Bozo leaves the game. Sub 4K. Just got to say, there's no reason Jonathan Aranda is sub 4K. There's just it's criminal pricing. Whether we play him here or not, that's different. Like, it's a different conversation. The price point is just criminal. The guy has been doing nothing but raking. So just wanted to point that out. Who are some of your favorite targets under 4K though, Keith?
Yeah, Aranda's StatCast stuff is incredible. Like, he deserves everything he's doing, which it's good to see. He struggled a ton last year, but has figured it out. Barrios is a bit of an overrated pitcher. It's still an average, at least, starter, probably a bit better. But I don't mind the Aranda shout out at all. Kike Hernandez is really cheap. You can play him at second as well, so probably look that way. Matt Mervis, a guy with a ton of power. Brown has struck out more lefties, and Mervis is a guy that strikes out an absolute ton. But he could touch up Ben Brown, so cheap home run there if you want to go that route. Jake Berger is the guy I really have interest in. Just a ton of power. Freeland's not going to strike anybody out, and that's always Berger's biggest problem is the strikeouts. So, like, he's got massive power. He just can't make contact. I think it's a good day for him to make some contact.
Can't make contact. Good recipe for success. $2,800 is a good price. It's
in facing a pitcher with the 20% strikeout rate or worse, 16% for Freeland. So that's the only reason I'm interested. If he was facing anybody with an average strikeout rate, I don't think you can play him.
And it's worse against righties. 15% strikeout rate against right-handed bats. And then, like, I get why people are playing Texas. They are cheap. You are easily able to fit a Texas stack with whoever you want. You could play whatever you want. You could play Dodgers. You could play Cubs. You could play whatever you want. Texas has still, at the end of the day, been very mediocre. And maybe they pay off tonight. I do like your Berger call. Let's go to second, where Ketel Marte gets a good lefty, or at least has been pitching good lefty in Robbie Ray, but we know this is the dominant split for Ketel Marte. Polanco not in the lineup tonight. Miguel Garcia hitting fifth. Cronenworth, lefty-righty. Nico Horner, 4,200. Dylan Moore, another lefty masher, but it's Max Fried. What stands out, if anything, or is this just a spend down position?
Yeah, not a lot that stands out to spend up on. I like Marte. Robbie Ray has
He
figured things
has.
out though. I thought he was kind of falling off a cliff, but he's been much better his last
Yep.
three starts or so. Doesn't mean I won't have a couple Marte one-offs because he could absolutely touch him up for a home run or two. He'd be my favorite option up here. Dylan Moore is a guy I always like to play against a lefty, but against Max Fried,
Yeah.
not a pitcher that I
Yeah.
pick on very often. Horner's overpriced for what he offers you, even against Beozo.
Need the stolen base.
Good matchup.
Need the stolen base.
Yeah, needs this. Yep, exactly. Probably not going to homer, especially with the wind blowing in. I mentioned Kike already, like moving down. I think you're saving money. Like there's nobody really to be excited about. Marte is definitely
It's Kike. The Mets both have two options. You could play McNeil hitting sixth or resurgent Brett Beatty in the lineup tonight hitting eighth. Definitely live to be pinch hit for if you play Brent Beatty, but also he had a 3-homer week, 2 games against your Cubs where he hit 3 home runs. That's what he does every time he goes to AAA. It's not what he does in the majors, but it's a really good spot against Mitch Keller, who's been a very subpar pitcher. And then everyone's playing Semien. Everyone is playing Marcus Semien. And this is the point of my Dolander point. And now I think Dolander is a different pitcher than Freeland. Like Dolander can miss bats, top prospect, has bad numbers because he's made all of his starts at home this year. Freeland doesn't miss bats, isn't as highly coveted of a pitcher. And, even though his peripheral stats look good, a lot of contact. Are you overweight at the number or underweight on the most popular second baseman of the day, Marcus Semien?
Yeah, underweight on Marcus Semien. It just doesn't look good, and we're working on almost 2 years now of it not looking good. The power in particular, since the beginning of last season, only a 132 ISO against lefties. Like he should be 3,100. Like the price is appropriate. So just because the ownership is flocking there because they recognize the name and see the price tag, definitely somebody.
Wait until September where you see the Marcus Semien 7 home runs in 10-game stretch, and he ends the year again like, oh, pretty good year for Marcus Semien. It's like, nope, buddy, good September, like Marcus Semien does every year to fool us, except that 1 year in Toronto that made him all that money. Anything else worth mentioning down here? Adam Frazier's leading off. Adam Frazier's leading off tonight. No, yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
I'm with you on the Mets guys. Like they're the two I want to pivot away from Semien on. Miguel Rojas, I don't think is a bad option against a lefty. We mentioned spring struggles here recently. If Chris Taylor is in the lineup, I wouldn't even mind that. Another guy with way too many strikeouts, but he's almost minimum price and has some pop.
How is he still employed? And not just employed to the Dodgers, like to them, that team specifically. Like Chris Taylor is the perfect 2025 White Sox.
Yeah, you're not wrong. He was awful last season too, so it's not like his struggles this season are new. Formerly a guy we love to play against lefties. He can play every position on the field, so that's probably why he still has a job, and he's under contract. Would be the other thing. Like, it's certainly not for his bat anymore. He's a pure punt.
Sure. You raised the Dylan Cease lefty point. Do you want to guess how many lefties the Angels have in their lineup tonight?
It's
3.
Probably 1. Oh, okay.
So Nolan Schanuel, Yoan Moncada. That's 2, 3, and then Luis Rengifo hitting 7th. So there's your 3. So
okay. Yeah, I would have guessed 2, but I completely forgot Yoan Moncada existed.
Hitting third tonight, by the way. The powerful Yoan Moncada, who continues to home run. He's doing things. We're gonna go to his position right now, actually. Third base. Where Yoan Moncada. Guess what? He's been good. We don't have to talk about him yet. We may talk about him. Machado tops the list. Austin Riley, 5K. Michael Garcia, we mentioned. Matt Chapman, 43. Eugenio Suarez, 42. And Yoan Moncada, 4K. What do we want to talk about, if anything, at the top of third base here, Keith.
Yeah, I certainly don't mind Machado in any matchup. Soriano does a decent job of keeping the ball on the ground, but Machado's an elite guy. Austin Riley against Soroka. I don't know what Soroka is, as I talked about a little bit earlier. But if he's the guy we've seen the last few seasons, it's an awesome spot for Austin Riley. Maybe he's figured some things out. So it looks like he's going to be pretty popular today. I don't love that ownership number on him if Soroka has indeed taken a step forward. Suarez is the guy that stands out for me against the lefty Ray. Even if he's back, Robbie Ray, even when Robbie Ray was winning Cy Youngs, he could give up home runs. So Suarez is
that's probably a guy you play a lot as a tournament player because he is just he fits so his profile is so boomer bust. It's crazy.
Yeah, 3 strikeouts or 2 home runs.
I mean, it's literally he fits your he fits your style perfectly. Your MME players probably love Uni. There's always a projection boost for Eugenio Suarez mixed in there. Sub 4K. Something John and I didn't really talk about last night. I know Junior Caminero has been bad. This is the correct split this year against Jose Barrios. Junior Caminero, 3,800, getting a pretty hefty ownership number. Righties against Barrios this year, Keith. 237 ISO, 247 expected ISO. And the strikeouts dipped 21% for Barrios. Any thought to I mean, again, he's popular, so, this could go one of two ways. You could just be like, no, I don't want to play him, but, not a bad spot for Junior Caminero.
Yeah, I don't mind him. I've talked on the show before. I think Barrios is a little bit overrated. He's an average pitcher, and people think he's actually really good. And I don't think he's really good. He's an average major league pitcher. Caminero has elite bat speed, the best in the majors type bat speed. So I'm always willing to play a guy like that. You just talked about it with Suarez. Guys that have multiple home run upside, I'm in on. I don't care what their numbers say. He has multiple home run upside.
The exit, you will never hear soft contact with Junior Caminero there is a different sound to that man's bat. And I'm not suggesting it's corked. I'm just saying that it is a treat to hear when he makes good contact. Josh Young, and what theme of the show the last couple days? Texas. Everyone just jammed Texas. Is Josh Young in the I want to play category or I'm underweight on the field category?
It's been a rough go for Josh Young. We've recommended him many times on this show. I've talked about his talent. I think he's a very good hitter. I'm starting to have some doubts. We're getting a little bit of a sample size now this season, and he just hasn't been good. Because there's ownership there, I'm going to try to get away from it.
Yeah, me too. Because it's a great spot. And I think he's hitting third, right? Is that what I saw? He's hitting third tonight.
Yes.
Oh, boy. So annoying. Because,
133, 130 ISO, 288 WOBA against lefties going back to the beginning of last year.
That's bad.
That's bad.
Is there anything not bad down here that you want to talk about?
We mentioned Beatty at second. He's definitely a name I have interest in. Even Vientos, I think, is fine. I like the Mets a good amount today. I don't think Keller's very good. So somebody mentioned Varga earlier in the chat. He's been really good. And StatCast stuff looks pretty good for him as well. So hard to argue with that. That
was the Poe Degen super high betting comment that he made in his first comment. And then I don't know if you saw it was right when you logged off, and I hadn't read the comment yet, but he started talking about that he made this comment where he compared the contest in DK to 2 Girls 1 Cup, and just didn't need it. And now I've shown it twice, so I guess I'm at fault for that. But yeah, Addison Barger, 2,700, multi-position eligibility, looks good. Shortstop, we go. This is a fun position as always. Bobby, Mookie, Frankie, only 3 of them today. Over 5K with Seager hitting the IL again. And again, Texas without its best player on the IL. Shocker. What do you think about this top tier? last night on the show, like I love Bobby always, but like I think Mookie and Lindor stand out above Bobby Witt on today's slate.
Yeah, Framber's just
Good
a
pitcher.
tough guy to
Pitcher.
pick on. He's so good at
Yep.
keeping the ball on the ground. It's hard to beat him. Like you can make contact off him, but it's tough to elevate the ball. We're searching for home runs generally. He's a tough guy to homer off of. So I agree. It's Mookie and Frankie in the top tier
Nice.
by themselves. Witt's fantastic. I wouldn't say don't play him. He's just he's a tick below the other two tonight.
Where put on your tinfoil hat. It's Mookie bobblehead night.
So is it one home run or two home runs?
True.
That's the question.
It's true. I mean, it's totally true. We gotta ask the bobblehead or like that corgi who shoots the basketball into the hoop to tell you who decides who wins every series. You know, either the bobblehead or the corgi will tell you how many home runs it is. Thank you for that, Warren. I appreciate it. Po Degen talking about a Rojas punt with a Dodger stack. I agree. It's he went with the reach around instead of wrap around, which I guess is hilarious. Just to keep it on brand, you know, Po Degen keeping it on brand. Freeland has a pitcher's ump tonight. If he goes 15 fantasy points at 5K, you're cooking with gas. That's kind of what I got with Dollander last night. I had 21 fantasy points from Dollander at the 5K tier or 6K, whatever he was last night, cooking with gas. And obviously nobody's going to play Kyle Freeland because everybody can't get enough of the Rangers tonight. What about the rest of shortstop? And why do we just stop at Dansby and don't go any further?
I mean, he's good. Red hot. The dude, he was awful to start the season, and he has just been. I didn't look to pull any numbers on it. I've seen them on the broadcast.
Yep.
Dude has been red hot for almost a month now, just absolutely streaking. He's well above average as a hitter. When his April, he was like a bottom 15 hitter in the entire league. So interested to see where he ends up in the lineup. Maybe it's time to move him up a little bit, especially with Happ going on the IL. He hasn't been moved up, even though Happ hasn't played the last couple of games. So we'll see what the lineup looks like for the Cubs today. But definitely have a ton of interest in Dansby. Volpe, another Yankees lefty. I mentioned liking Yankees lefties against Wu. He's allowed some home runs, so he'd be the other name here.
Do you think it's going to happen that Dansby moves up?
It wouldn't surprise me. Like, especially with Ballesteros, if he cracks the lineup, they're going to hit him 8th or 9th. I would think, just to kind of protect him a little bit. So if Dansby finds the 6th or 7th spot, it wouldn't surprise me. But we'll see.
Below $4,000, is there anything of note? Jeremy Pena's leading off. Bo Bichette's leading off. J.P. Crawford. Actually, we did get a Mariners lineup, didn't we? J.P. Crawford leading off. So we have 3 leadoff hitters down here below $4,000. Any of them tickle your fancy here?
I like Blue Jays just because I think Shane Baz is injured or something else.
Not injured.
He's not. Yeah, I mean, how do you not say it? A pitcher who's been awful his last 2, who has elite arm talent. I really hope that's not the case.
3 bad starts have come in George Steinbrenner, which is obviously a minor league park.
Yeah, that's fair. But I don't know.
Yeah,
the control looks off. It's more than a park to me.
I'm trying. Okay, I'm trying.
I'm hoping with you. I hate pitcher injuries. I love watching young pitchers in particular break into the league and just become dominant. So, and Shane Baz is a guy that has the arm talent to do that. It's a real shame that he has not been able to stay healthy yet to this point in his career. So hopefully that's not it, but play some Bo Bichette, even though Bichette has not.
I forgot. We got the Diamondbacks lineup. Lawler's hitting 8th.
There you go. Another elite prospect. He did get the 2K treatment, I believe, right? Yep. So, yep, I'm good with that. Another elite prospect who is up for the first time this season. Got a little cup of coffee last year.
2 years ago. Yeah, he didn't play. He had
he was hurt last year.
Injury last year. Let's see. What's this lineup? Do we got a Cubs lineup? No. Early slate troubles that does not pertain to us. Let's finish it off in the outfield and we'll get a lineup built. If you guys are in the chat, please like the video, hit the subscription button. We're almost at 9,000 subs for the channel. We'd appreciate that greatly. We do, for first-time viewers, build an example lineup at the end of the show, geared towards GPPs. If you ever want it to be cash, we could, reluctantly do that because, like, who plays cash games in 2025? I'm just kidding. If so, there's two of you out there that still do. Outfield. Pick your stack, move on. I mean, it's impossible for you to even, like, I'm not going to ask you, like, who's your favorite, Keith? Because, like, yeah.
It's elite names. All in the 5K range is littered with elite names. Shohei Ohtani does not care about facing a lefty. Brian Wu is elite against righties, but Aaron Judge is elite against everyone. So play some Aaron Judge. Like, nobody's playing him. It's a really tough matchup for him, but he doesn't care about matchup. Kyle Tucker's in perhaps the best spot of the night. If I had to pick a favorite, it's probably him. Jackson Merrill is.
Dude, he hasn't been out. He hasn't gotten out since he came back.
Since he came back, yeah. Since he returned from the IL, he has been just absolutely insane. He was insane last season. Like, he's on his way to being one of the best hitters in baseball. Like, when the guy made the switch from never playing center field to starting in center field on opening day, I think we knew he was different. But he's been elite with the bat. Like, his second half last season was incredible. His beginning of the season was very good, and then he's just been unstoppable since coming back. So I love Jackson Merrill. Juan Soto.
Yeah.
I mentioned Mitch Keller being overrated. Like, I love Juan Soto today.
I think Juan Soto looks amazing.
And then Langford is one of the Texas guys that I will have exposure to as well.
He's the only one that did anything last night. A home run. That was the only Dollander blip. And because Wyatt Langford's really good, and he also hits lefties really good. So I agree on basically everything you said. I have absolutely nothing to add, other than we'll get PCA leading off in a dream spot. I got to ask, though, he's $5,000. Obviously, he's paying it off. I'm not saying he's not, because of the power and the speed. Yeah. Is the power sustainable?
I don't think it matters because he's in the leadoff spot now. That's the what I would say. His run scoring upside and his stolen base upside say that he should have a 5K price tag when he's in the leadoff spot. If he was hitting 8th or 7th tonight, it would be a different conversation. But because he's locked in for 4 at bats, probably going to get 5 with as many runs as we expect the Cubs to score. Like, I think he's worth every bit of 5K.
I agree. I wanted to get your take. I think there's a chance one of these A's or both homer off Landon Knack between Rooker and Soderstrom. Wouldn't surprise me if both did. Again, really good ballpark for home runs. Pitcher that likes to allow home runs. So, like, hey guys, hit some home runs. Landon Knack's there for the taking. He has a knack for that.
Here come
you didn't even catch my Dansby Swanson one. When I tried to tee you up, I said, do you think it's going to happen that he's going to move up in the lineup? But it's okay. We can move past it, and I forgive you. What about in the mid tier? Is what stands out to you for, like, in the 4K tier in general?
Trent Grisham, another one of those Yankees lefties, who's been just incredible this season. Marcell Ozuna is probably too cheap for this matchup. Even if Soroka's better, Marcell Ozuna is a better hitter than 4,500. Jung-Hoo Lee's been really good, and Brandon Pfaadt has a lefty problem also. So I like Jung-Hoo Lee a good amount. Has shown a lot more power than we saw before his injury last season. So maybe adapting to life in the stateside a little bit more. Obviously, coming over from Korea can't be an easy thing. So super talented dude though. Pajas is obviously incredible. We love Dodgers tonight. I think he's going to be under rostered compared to some of his teammates, and he shouldn't be. He's elite against lefties. Should grab a decent lineup spot tonight as well. Let's see. Bellinger's a cheaper Yankees lefty. Hasn't been as good this season though. Julio is cheap. I know it's Max Fried, but he's too cheap for what he is. He's one of the Mariners that I would play, even though I hate picking on Fried.
Yeah, he's been better too. Yeah. Julio, I feel like he's done things in bunches every year. He just does things, goes big. Nimmo, I think Nimmo looks really good at 4K. He's been good when in the lineup, at least
Yep.
from a power and run production standpoint. You're just not going to get the average from Nimmo anymore, but I think a really good power RBI guy. Michael Harris is hitting 7th. Springer Dinger is live, hitting 4th against Boz. Dominguez coming off a really good series against the Athletics. Obviously, really good ballpark, but anytime you hit 3 home runs in a game, like there's obviously, you're probably, you can do damage. I know your take, but for those that didn't hear it, we are not in on Adolis at 4K, right?
No, it's been atrocious going back to last season. Even he's always hit righties better than lefties, except for the very early years of his career. I think last season he was actually really good against lefties. I misspoke on that. This season he has not touched them at all. He has a .029 ISO against lefties this season. Only 35 plate appearances. His ISO was 200 last year against them. It could be small sample, but getting ownership and seeing those numbers, no thanks.
That is something. It's a number. That's like a number I'd expect, like, I don't know, Victor Robles to have. I just see Victor Robles right there. It's anyways. Helio Ramos hitting 3rd again. Do we have Evan Carter in the lineup? I don't think so. They're playing they're leading off Haggerty tonight at 2,800, which they did the other day. They like called him up and they just like were like, "Hey, you're our new leadoff hitter, dude," against lefties. And he's like, "I've kind of stunk my whole career, but whatever." Verdugo's leading off 38. Meisner 36 hitting 5th. Is there anything in this 3K tier that really gets you going? Chandler Simpson's getting a ton of ownership here against Berrios. And
that might change with Haggerty.
Haggerty's getting ownership too. I think both are pulling some pretty good ownership here.
Yeah, I'd play Simpson over Haggerty for sure. I agree. Let's see, nothing else that really. I mean, yeah, I'm not even going to say it. Cam Smith is probably not ready yet, but a guy with elite talent. Grichuk, a guy I always play against a lefty, has pop. Gets Robbie Ray. Let's see here. Yeah, that's
Lourdes really gets a lefty. I'll say that he's obviously great against left-handed pitching. That's been like the MO for Lourdes Gurriel for years and years and years. That amongst other things. Tyrone Taylor is in one of those like I'm good at baseball things that he does like to fool everybody once a year. In the lineup, hitting 9th against a pretty subpar pitcher. Mark Canha's hitting 3rd tonight for what that's worth. Okay, dude. Like, sure. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else. If you don't have anything else, I don't have anything else.
I don't have anything else.
Is Grichuk? I didn't fully. I should have read. Grichuk hitting 3rd, DHing tonight. So who's out of the lineup? Pavin is out, and Naylor's playing first. No Pavin Smith. Tim Tawa playing center field tonight.
Wow. So no Carroll?
No, Carroll is playing right field, batting 2nd. Suarez hitting 4th. Marte, Carroll, Grichuk, Suarez, Naylor, Moreno, Lourdes, Lawler, Tawa. So no Alec Thomas, no Pavin Smith. And I think that's it. But Grichuk hitting 3rd is a good value as well.
Yep.
Brought up. Let's shift over to our lineup construction. It is time to build our lineup. Dun, dun, dun. That was like I tried to go over with the Geraldo Perdomo. Thank you, Warren. Appreciate it. Yes, correct.
Yeah.
2023 All-Star. Can never take that away from him. He was like the 20 whatever guy. He's like voted in. He's like the 7th guy voted in. Okay, so we're going Ben Brown, friend of the program, Ben Brown. What do we want to do out to pair with Brown? Because it sees, like, let's face it, it's Cesar Schwellenbach. I'll let you decide. And since this is geared towards tournaments, I assume, even though I'm letting you decide, I assume we'll go Schellenbach. So am I really deciding? I don't know,
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the appropriate strategy tonight. I think Dylan Cease is in a great spot. Dylan Cease has also not been a 30% strikeout guy like he has been in the past. It's just, the ownership is just too far of a gap for the difference in these pitchers. They're basically the same guy. I talked about Schwellenbach's swinging strike rate. Like, I think Schwellenbach's strikeouts are going to be about what Cease is this season. So they're the same pitcher. The matchup is better for Cease, but only slightly. And Schwellenbach's been just as good. So ownership should not be this wide. It's Schwellenbach for me.
Dodgers lineup just dropped, and basically every cheap piece that you could have wanted is in it. Ohtani, Betts, Smith, Freeman, Pages hitting 5th. You talked about the lineup position. Kike Hernandez hitting 6th. That's great. Conforto, but Rojas batting 8th, playing 2nd, and Chris Taylor batting 9th, playing center. So literally every value piece is in the lineup tonight. How many Dodgers is too many? The cheap Dodgers really open up basically everything, right?
Well, I think that allows you to get to elite Cubs. If you play cheap Dodgers and elite Cubs, that's a pretty nice pairing for me.
Do we want Kike at 2nd? That probably feels better, right?
Yeah.
Than using him at 1st.
I'm not excited about Nico at 2nd, so yes.
Right. Michael Busch or one of the we just got the question from Anthony about Freddie Freeman, which we didn't really expand on that because you can play either Freeman or Ohtani. Would you play Freeman here, or do you prefer the Michael Busch route at first?
Freeman has been amazing against lefties.
Cubs lineup.
Go for it. Give me Mo Baller somewhere.
He's in the lineup.
All right, let's go.
And they're in, and it's a pretty good one. PCA, Tucker, Seiya, Bush, obviously, right? Same 4. Yep. Kelly, catching, hitting 5th. Dansby 6th, so he did move up. The Dansby move up. Ballesteros hitting 7th, DHing. Horner, Lopez rounds out the lineup. Top 7 looks
yeah, I was going to say for Nicky Lopez. Sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah,
still need a third baseman.
No, Matt Shaw's coming. Don't worry. Matt Shaw's going to be better this time. It's a good lineup for the Cubs and a really good lineup for the Dodgers, who could not have broken better for us for cheap stuff.
I am totally with let the field play Rangers. We're going to play Dodgers and Cubs. I'm with it.
It's pretty good alternative. Now here's the question. We'll do catcher quick, and then we'll move forward. We have the Will Smith piece. Will Smith hitting 3rd. Ballesteros in the lineup, hitting 7th, probably better than we thought it would be.
Yes. I expected it to be 8, honestly.
And he's obviously cheaper. Do you go the Ballesteros route because he is cheaper and that gets you Ohtani Tucker, basically?
Yeah, let's do that.
Right? Because that gets you, you heard it and you're like, yep, that's the one.
Yeah.
That gets you because I mean, we have 4,600. We've plugged one position player in. We're gonna be able to do whatever we want. Do we want Shohei at 1st? Do we want Shohei in the outfield? Because there are a lot of options in this game to get in the outfield.
Let's see where we end up, because the outfield is loaded. Pages, I think, is too cheap. Hitting 5th. I agree. He's a guy I want. We're going to have plenty of money. So Tucker is definitely going to be our other outfielder, I think. Oh, he's in there already.
Yep.
Okay. Ohtani is going to fit somewhere in this build. Let's see.
Let's do that for now. Or we do Ohtani in the outfield and we go double cheap Dodger 1st, 2nd, because we have the Taylor Rojas, or where does Rojas?
I think we can avoid playing Chris Taylor.
Okay.
That's what I'm hoping to do.
Okay. I'm also okay with that, by the way.
Miguel Rojas would be a much higher preference to me than Chris Taylor. And he fits it.
Oh, dude, this is coming together so nicely.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Because we can go Dansby here. So what do we have? We have a 3-4. Do we have a Cubs $4,000 outfielder?
No, they're more expensive than
Yeah, they're
that.
more expensive. So we're either in this range, we're either one-offing something else, or we're moving somewhere like a Shohei to a Freeman to get to something else,
What
or
does no Dodger have shortstop eligibility?
no.
That stinks.
Rojas
Well,
has
I mean
second
Betts
and third.
obviously, but if
Yeah,
we went to
Mookie.
Betts over Shohei, that would open it
Ooh.
up for us.
And then
But
we go back to Michael Bush at first.
yeah, I think that's a more balanced build.
Michael Bush, Mookie Betts. Ooh, we're 200 off PCA. Do we get Seiya? No, we're also off Seiya.
Darn. We're so close to just loving this, but
What? $4,800.
let's just go a one-off. What do we
Okay.
got for one-off options there?
Jung-Hoo Lee, Marcelo Zuna, Trent Grisham. I mean, Nimmo at 42 looks really good against Keller. We have no Mets exposure.
Ozuna's probably. I like Lee a lot too.
I did too.
Yeah, those are the two names that
Okay.
stand out for the price range.
Let's go Jung-Hoo. You mentioned Brandon Pfaadt's lefty problem. That's been a lefty problem for years.
Yep.
Ben Brown, Spencer Schwellenbach, Ballesteros, Bush, Hernandez, Rojas, Betts, Tucker, Pajes, Lee. $300 left over. Thank you all for tuning in. Again, Keith and I will be back for the pre-show. And until then, we'll catch you guys later.